Montesquieu on human nature. Montesquieu's background. Montesquieu was born in 1689 in France to a noble family. France was under the monarchy of King Louis XIV at this time. During his early years, he spent time among peasants in a village because of his father. This allowed him to develop different perspectives. He studied law at the University of Bordeaux in 1705 when he was 16. In 1708, he received his law degree. During this time, he began to travel throughout Europe and lived in England, where he learned about the English political system. At that time, the English political system was a mixed constitution. It consisted of the monarch, the House of Lords, and the House of Commons. Views on human nature. Montesquieu believed that humans naturally avoid war and violence because of fear. However, he believed that humans could turn violent under some circumstances. These circumstances would be influenced by the society they lived in. According to him, they would lose their sense of fear, inequality would prosper, and there would be wars between nations. This would lead to laws and government being created. He opposed the absolute monarchy in his country, and he believed that humans could be powered by their values or interests, which could lead to feelings of jealousy and being power-hungry.
Nature of society. Montesquieu believed that society should live underneath the government and that society should be based on the English system model of government. In his book, The Spirit of Laws, he wrote that climate has an effect on society, and when Montesquieu observed climate, he found that it played a role in forming the general spirit of society. Roles and philosophy of government and law. Montesquieu believed that the government's roles were to maintain law and order, political liberty, and the property of an individual. He also explored the idea that the government should be split into many different branches, and in his book, The Spirit of Laws, Montesquieu made an outline that consisted of 5 benchmarks for determining the best government suited for a dispossession of people. 1 being, laws must fit the principle of the established or desired government. 2, laws must fit the country's geography. 3, laws must fit the country's economy. And 4, laws must fit the character of those governed. 5, laws must fit with other existing laws.
Montesquieu's impact on our society. The tyranny of Louis XIV inspired Montesquieu's core ideology, which was to structure the government into branches to avoid a concentration of power. He divided the government into legislative, executive, and judicial branches. The idea of separation of power can be seen in many different countries. Montesquieu's ideas were the foundation of the U.S. Constitution, and the Canadian government has been inspired by Montesquieu's ideology. We agree with his ideology because the separation of power guarantees the protection of citizens' rights, prevents the misuse of power, and makes the government effective. This is because each branch concentrates on their responsibilities, which ensures proper monitoring of the system.
A quote that represents Montesquieu's ideology. Constant experience shows us that every man invested with power is out to abuse it. It is necessary from the very nature of things that power should be a check to power. Separation of the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. He believes if one is greatly invested in gaining power over other people, they may act tyrannically, and this will put fear and lack of confidence in safety for the society. Where this belief came from? This belief came from the monarchy of Louis the Great. Montesquieu believed if the governments were joined, they would lead to corruption, just like how it was in the King of France's monarch. Montesquieu's views on what people's role in society should be. He believed humans' role in society and government should be based on moral goodness and in equality. Equality was something he strongly believed in between society and the government, because power handed over to one person or branch can lead to corruption. Also encourages and allows people to play a role in the government and not be overpowered or silenced. Moral goodness was foremost important to him because he believed the citizens should put the public's interests over their own. This was done by educating the citizens to identify their interests and the interests of their countries, so they can stick to their ways, and also to not allow them to have interests at the expense of the public good. If one is tempted to hold more power, then they will think tyrannically, and this will lead to the society's fear and lack of confidence in their safety.